Yo, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source, your source for celeb news. Now, today we have Future messing with his BM's job. We got Megan Thee Stallion story gets stranger than yesterday. Folks getting sued over malpractice, $1 million bets, and heavyweights weighing in on Nick Cannon again. Thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source. If this is your first time to the channel, be sure to subscribe so you can be up on the info that matters to you. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss a beat, and be sure to like the vid if you crack a smile at least once. Now, first on deck is Future, whose music I love. And I guess that's where I bump into an issue. Because when you feel an artist's work, but then don't quite approve of what they do, the situation could be a bit conflicting, to say the least, leaving you with a choice that needs to be made. Now, most of y'all that struggle with what I'm talking about, I got two words for you: Bill Cosby. But I digress. Future has been in a dispute with the mother of his child, Eliza Serafin, concerning the $1,000 per month child support offer, which was rejected by Eliza. Her counter offer for child support was $53,000 per month. Now, when she highlighted the fact that the man made over $20 million in 2019, the situation reached a new depth when Future began sending subpoenas to more than a dozen companies that Eliza works with as a brand ambassador. Now, evidently, the subpoena's objective were to pull information out of the companies in court with the supposed purpose of causing the companies to withdraw from working with Eliza as a brand ambassador. So essentially, he is messing with her ability to make paper with these other people. Now, couple that with the supposed knowledge of confirmation that the child is indeed his. I'm sorry. If you have a child, it is expected that the child is now your responsibility. And if you have several children, it is expected that the children are your responsibility. Now, let me do the calculation, okay? $53,000 a month multiplied by 12 months. Let me see. Carry the one, add some zeros, divide that by 34, 77. All right, $636,000 a year. If you spent $636,000 every year for the next 31 years, you still wouldn't hit $20 million. Now, I guess what I'm saying is $53,000 a month ain't that bad, homie. Oh, wait, how many kids you got? Now, the story of Megan Thee Stallion gets stranger and it should be on an episode of Stranger Things, right? First, we find out that she was potentially popping bottles, at least that's my assumption, right, with Tory Lanez and Kylie Jenner in a pool. Of course, revealing their location, okay? Strike number one. Then we find out that Tory was arrested and Megan was bleeding by the foot. We reported that she cut her foot on broken glass, because that's what we were told, okay? Tory Lanez was in the car with Megan, whom he claimed to be his evil twin. He was arrested that night for having a firearm in the ride. Now, we found out that Tory Lanez was 5'3", 120 pounds. And then it became clear why the man was packing. Now, we find out that Megan didn't indeed cut her foot on broken glass, but was shot in the foot twice. Now, once can be an accident. Twice, no. It was intentional, like the World Trade. Megan's producer, Lil Ju, pushed out a tweet and then deleted it, which said, at Tory Lanez, count your blanking days. Not a great statement, but the statement was clearly pushed out in error because he deleted it, I'm assuming, after Megan seemed to have alluded to the idea that Tory indeed was not involved. After all, she was hurt, but she was in the car. Now, you don't get hurt by someone, then go sit in their car, unless, of course, you're married or deeply involved with someone, the fool cheated, you caught them both red-handed or sweaty for that matter, but they're your ride home. You know what I'm saying? Now, you're in the car, you're in their car at that point. But anyway, Megan doesn't seem to think that Tory was connected in the whole situation. In fact, she posted a statement on Twitter stating the following. She says, "The narrative that is being reported about Sunday morning's events are inaccurate, and I would like to set the record straight." Okay, Megan, set us straight. "On Sunday morning, I suffered gunshot wounds as a result of a crime that was committed against me and done with the intention to physically harm me." It was done with the intent to physically harm you. Okay, this is not looking good. "I was never arrested. The police officers drove me to the hospital where I underwent surgery to remove the bullets. I'm incredibly grateful to be alive and that I'm expected to make a full recovery. But it was important for me to clarify the details about this traumatic night. I'm currently focused on my recovery so I can return back to my life and back to making music as soon as possible." Now, after that statement was made, there's a caption at the bottom that says, "I was never arrested. The whole experience was an eye-opener and a blessing in disguise." In disguise? What? Okay. "I hate that it took this experience for me to learn how to protect my energy." Okay, fine. Tory is off the hook, but he was never on it in my book to begin with anyway. Now, Twitter, with nothing else to do, has decided to play connect the dots. You see, Megan had a record label with 1501 Certified Entertainment, which was under the CEO, Carl Crawford. Now, Carl Crawford was a sports player, and he took his career earnings and put it towards a record label. Okay, word is that the CEO, Carl Crawford, received a lot of guidance from none other than Houston's finest, J. Prince. Yeah, you know where this is going. So let me try my best to word this carefully. Crawford stated in the past that his label discovered Megan Thee Stallion, but since their parting of ways, she signed with a few other labels. 300 Entertainment in 2018 and Rock Nation in 2019. You're like, oh boy. Now, word is that the day the Rock Nation deal was announced, Jay Prince posted a picture of himself and Crawford congratulating his partner on Megan Thee Stallion's come up. But the caption read, quote, "The music business is a business filled with sharks and cutthroat people," close quote. This is not good. Now, I'm not that smart, but I sense trouble. And yo, we've all seen this story before. This ain't a new story for us. We've seen this story. We kind of get an idea of how this type of thing plays out, and it's whatever. Let me keep it going. Crawford stated that he was not aware of Megan Thee Stallion's deal with Rock Nation until she announced it publicly. And in an interview with Dirty Glove Bastard, he stated that he was quote unquote past irritated. Now, upon signing the contract with Rock Nation, you see, with money, when money is involved, right? Let me continue. Don't basically what I want to say is yo, don't mess with people's money. When you start dealing with big numbers and when big numbers are involved, people start doing strange things. You follow me? Now, we're gonna have to cut this short. All right, we're gonna have to cut this short, like Tory Lanez type short. Okay, and don't start looking at the timeline either. Now, when Megan Thee Stallion signed with Rock Nation, she stated the following. She said, quote, "When I signed, I didn't really know what was in my contract." In fact, take a listen to what Megan Thee Stallion said.
"When I signed, I didn't really know what was in my contract. I was young. I think I was like 20. And I didn't know everything that was in that contract. So when I got with Rock Nation, I got management, real management. I got real lawyers. And they was like, do you know that this is in your contract? And I was like, oh damn, that's crazy. No, I didn't know. So I'm not mad at 1501. I wasn't upset, because I'm thinking in my head, oh well, everybody cool, we all family, it's cool, it's nice. Let me just ask them niggas to renegotiate my contract. Soon as I said I want to renegotiate my contract, everything went left. Like, it just all went bad. It all went left. So now they telling the bitch that she can't drop no music. It's really just like a greedy game. Like, it's really just real greedy. Wasn't trying to lead a label. Wasn't trying to not give nobody money that they feel like they entitled to. I just want to renegotiate some shit. I'm not a greedy person. I'm not a person that like confrontation. I'm not a person that's a bitch. Like, I work with everybody, and I'm nice, and I'm real family oriented. But niggas gonna be niggas, and they gonna be greedy, and they gonna be shady. And I see the shit that people be, that, you know, that can't be saying about me, and I'll be like, damn, well, since you got so much to say, why you just won't tell them? Why you mad? You mad because I don't want to roll over and bow down like a little bitch, and you don't want to renegotiate my contract. Niggas be like, oh yeah, they made Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion was Megan Thee Stallion before I even got over there. I've been rapping, been freestyling, been doing me, been.
Now, Megan said in Sunday's video, Megan said in the video, as she waved a lollipop all up in our face, right? Quote, I was young, I think I was like 20, I didn't know everything that was in that contract. And then she eventually said, so when I got with Roc Nation, I got real management. That's shade, right? Subtle shade, okay? And then she states, and she also stated, I got real lawyers, okay? More shade. And she states, and let me just ask them at 1501 to renegotiate my contract. See, she thought it was sweet, ain't nothing real crazy, you know, just it was great. But Crawford responded to that particular Instagram post by stating the following. He said, quote, at a time when loyalty is at an all-time low. Okay, this ain't good. It's nice to be linked with people, Jay Prince, who is steady teaching me how to move in this cutthroat industry with about 100 emojis. And I know that terrifies some, especially the ones who double cross me with a fist emoji and the horns emoji. Then he says, hashtag paybacks a B, hashtag 1501, hashtag mob ties. Close quote. This ain't no good. Upon him releasing that particular post on the gram, the Hotties, this is Megan's fan base, you know, the Beehive is Beyonce, the Barbies is Nicki Minaj, the Hotties is Megan's fan. Okay, fine. Now the Hotties shot up hashtags and the like saying, oh, free Meg with a horse emoji. Okay, I guess that's supposed to exemplify a stallion of sorts. And then a day later, Megan sues 1501 and Crawford for being, quote, purposefully and deceptively vague, close quote. Now, she was also granted a restraining order to allow her to release music, which her contract most likely prohibited. Now, Jay Prince did respond in the midst of all that. And this is what he said, all right? This is what he said. I guess I can just let it speak for itself, right? He posted the following on Instagram. And this is back in, I want to say March. Okay, this is back in March. It says this. Breaking news alert. Houston, we have a problem. Megan, along with Roc Nation employee Jean Tiljali Grace Lear, if I mispronounced the name, my bad, decided to include my name in a lawsuit wrapped around lies and stupidity. We gonna get this ish straight. Now let's deal with the root of this issue. The root is a familiar one for me, coming from a successful independent record label's perspective. We as independent record labels make many sacrifices along with our artists. After we do all the hard work together with artists, it's a known fact that major record labels and established managers attempt to poach the fruits of our labor. I love when these guys use like the old idioms and stuff like that, like from like, you know what I'm saying, King James time, biblical times, man. I love it, man. It makes it sound almost regal and almost scary, poetic, if you will. Now, let me continue. One of the first things, Jay Prince continues, one of the first things they do is criticize the deal that raised that artist from the dead. These record labels and managers don't want ish to do with these artists until the hard work, risk, sacrifices, and resources have been spent by the little guys. This is the same technique, and he's trying to get us with the little guys. This is the same technique of the culture vultures. Who's he taking a shot at? I didn't allow this to happen to me when New York and LA record labels attempted to take my artists, so they labeled me as malicious for fighting back. I didn't allow it then, so I damn sure ain't gonna allow it to happen to 1501 Records or any of the other independent record labels that I'm associated with. Now, for the record, we have no problem with negotiating with Megan, but we do have problem with dictators. I find it very interesting that Roc Nation would allow their employee to sign an affidavit and statement full of slanderous lies on my methods of doing business when we have partnered together on several occasions. I don't think Jay-Z is aware of this, but only time will tell. Megan, even though she signed an affidavit, talked down and lied in court documents on me, I understand how lawyers brainwash artists to milk them of funds in lawsuits that they know they can't win. Megan seems to be a perfect candidate for self-destruction. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I'm not in the rap game. I'm so glad. Let me continue. I understand how lawyers brainwash artists to milk them of the funds in the lawsuits that they know they can't win. Megan seems to be a perfect candidate for self-destruction. Any artist in the music industry will testify that a 40% profit share is a great deal, especially for an unestablished artist that, till this day, has never delivered an album. To end this, I give credit to where credit is due. Megan, along with her mother, who evidently could read, God rest her soul, ooh, I love the subtle shot too, negotiated a good deal. I extended my hand to meet with Megan, T. Farris, and team personally for further negotiations. Unfortunately, it never happened, even though we're all in Houston, because she's being controlled by the very people who started this ish. The homie Carl, that's Carl Crawford, the CEO that she was signed under, was an angel in Megan's eyes when he was spending hundreds of thousands investing in her career. Now that he's helped her become a successful artist, she stopped paying him his percentage and views him as the devil. I'm glad money don't make me. I make money. Now, fast forward to today. Megan Thee Stallion, or fast forward to, let's say, Sunday, right? Megan Thee Stallion was shot twice in the foot. I'm not saying who did it, because I really don't know. And Twitter doesn't know as well. They're just putting together these dots concerning Carl Crawford and Megan Thee Stallion. And they're putting these things together and proposing this theory, okay? So we can't walk away from here saying, oh, this is who's responsible, okay? I don't know who did it, but I'm sure more details will be released. If I could make a prediction, I predict that apologies will be made, but they ain't gonna be coming from Jay Prince. Now, next on deck is actually, I think you got enough for one day. Yo, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. Let us know what you think in the comments below on what you think the validity is. Do you believe that Twitter has solved the crime that they're proclaiming potentially took place against Megan Thee Stallion? Let us know what you think. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source, your source for celeb news.